Hi, I'm Ed Parcaut. I am a president of Lending for Living. I am a podcast host. I am a radio show host. And catch me this week on Jesse T Show. It's in certain areas. It is like if you're in with the coastal, and I don't want to come off wrong here, but what they call the coastal elites in the Bay Area and Southern California in certain places, people are just weird. I mean, but if you're in the Central Valley, like I am, and where Modesto is, which is around Stockton and Tracy and those kind of things, we just can't believe those people, right? We're like, what the heck is wrong with them? Here's one of the things that happened a few years ago, which I didn't know. Basically, they passed a law that said the top two people to vote for on a ballot can be like two Democrats. It doesn't have to be party system. It's just the top two people. So how do you keep people and parties from being part of a thing is be controlling like that, right? And I don't want to get into the whole new bill that's passing. They're trying to federalize the voting system that's going to, really mess it up, not just in California, but everywhere else. So that's my last little political bullshit that I want to talk about.
Have you heard of the Stockton slap?
No, what's that?
No. So Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz, two huge MMA fighters that have come from Stockton, California. Okay. They do the Stockton slap in the octagon. So like when they're fighting with people, they basically give them a little bitch slap to mess with them. So they open. It's called the Stockton slap, which is really funny. And they're out of control. They're in there mouthing off, throwing fingers at people. They're Stockton to the core, I guess. So that's what I know about Stockton. But yeah, man, I've heard about how Garcetti and Newsom are like running that state into the ground right now, and people are having to deal with like tent cities, and there's feces all over the ground. Someone was telling me at the event where we met in Scottsdale a couple of weeks ago, there's jobs for people and ridiculous amounts of money, like over six figures, to go around and pick up poop off the ground.
Yeah, it's San Francisco cleaning up the streets, but they don't. I mean, the homeless have learned to park it on federal land, right? Over underpasses because the local police can't do anything about it. Only the federal, Caltrans, those people, and they'll never come in and move them. Right. That's just what they won't do. It is pretty bad in some areas in California because of that. I mean, LA is, really bad. We won't get into that, but it's bad, but it's going to go everywhere. I mean, it's just, for me, I say, if you move out of California, which I'm hoping a lot more people do, and it can be the other side, not my side, but that way I can get people into homes. One of our biggest problems in California, and like everywhere else, we have not built enough homes, and we're so far behind. We went up 14% this year in our city. That's huge.
Giant.
A $500,000 home now is more than, $150,000 more, right?
So I've seen, you're in that space of real estate, and I'm in financial planning, and one of the economic indicators of a good economy is our homes being built, and our supplies being sold, and our contracts being made, and just I've seen it in Georgia. I don't know about California, but Georgia's pretty good in terms of they're still building residences, they're still building like little communities, they're building businesses and things like this. Is it similar in California, or is it kind of slowed down?
No, they're trying to build. The problem is in California, it takes generations to put land together ready to build houses on. Wow. We're like in Las Vegas, Courtney from our group is in Las Vegas. I mean, 6 months a year, they're planning housing. Here in California, the cost, the bullshit, the fees, the stupid things they make us go through. We're going to be building a house so my wife told me 2 years ago, I don't want to be around people when I retire. And so we found 32 acres up in Twain Harte, which is a little somewhat to the mountains, but not fully. It's only 3,000 altitude, so you don't get that much snow. I mean, we had to pay $16,000 to the school for school fees. My kids will never go to those schools, but that's not what it's about. They want to fund that. Now we have to get power to our land is going to cost $20,000 a pole, and we need 3 of them. Right. And that's just little things. That's not even the permits and the other stuff that we have to pay for that is just so ridiculous. In California, we had to put sprinkler systems in our house, right? Because that's a law. This year, you have to put solar on your house. There's another 30 grand that is going to cost a home just to put solar, and the sprinkler system's another 15,000. They just California thinks they're so amazing with what they come up with. And the problem is they're making it harder and harder for people to build homes, to live here. So the cost of homes are skyrocketing. I mean, people leave the Bay Area and they're coming up in the mountains to get away from people after this COVID, and they're selling their houses for 1.5 million, which is just a regular single family home.
Yeah.
No amazing thing, right? 100, 200,000 over asking. Bidding up. So there's so many people still want to live over there, and there's so many people want to live here, and there's people leaving California. It's a normal thing that happens. We have a next exodus of 100,000 people. When you have 34 million people in California, that's nothing.